this episode of SAM Conversations. In this episode, we are looking at the current situation in India because of the COVID-19 lockdown and the impact that it has had on a large cross-section of those who are the most vulnerable and who have been deeply affected by the lockdown, namely migrant workers and those in rural and urban India who are daily wagers and who have been left with no recourse to have any kind of financial income by which they can buy their food and basic necessities of life. There have been some very tragic stories about large demographic numbers stranded in different parts of India, where food is being provided by the state or through NGOs or through concerned citizens, but clearly it is not enough to deal with the scale of the problem. And some kind of policy measure are required. It's to discuss this that today we have with us Mr. Siraj Hussain. He is a 1979 batch officer of the Indian Administrative Service of UP Cadre. Until recently, he was the secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. He's also been associated with the Food Corporation of India as the CMD and has had wide experience in the agriculture and food sector. Mr. Hussain, welcome to SAM Conversations.
Thank you.
My first question to you, sir, is that in recent weeks you have written both in print and on the web about the scale of the problem and what you felt could be done as an intervention by releasing food stocks that are currently held with the FCI and in other state holdings. So could you please share what you had written about and in a manner that perhaps the layperson could understand about the existing public distribution system for food and what you think should be the immediate intervention to provide, if I remember right, what you wrote was about rice and dal. Mr. Hussain?
Okay. When the lockdown began in the last week of March, 24th of March, somehow it was not anticipated that so many migrant workers will get stuck in cities and they will not be having enough food to last them the period of lockdown. So in order to tackle that issue of migrant labor who were not able to get enough food, I wrote an article with Mr. Ajit Ranade in which I suggested that the government of India should provide free rice to the non-governmental organizations and other charities for 3 weeks. The logic was that in this period of lockdown, the workers would not be able to get wheat and get it milled. Therefore, we suggested that instead of wheat, atta, the government should provide rice, free rice. And the NGOs and corporates and other voluntary sector organizations should raise donations for pulses, vegetable oils, vegetables, etc. And cooked food should be served to approximately 1 crore people across India for 3 weeks. This was the suggestion we made because we had by that time gathered this information from our contacts in the field and from media reports that there is going to be a lot of distress among these people because their earnings are very small. In fact, we should remember that we are a very poor country and the PLFS survey of Ministry of Labor has shown that some 80% of our labor earns just about 10,000 rupees a month. So in order to feed these people,
So let me get this right. Your recommendation, if I remember right, is that you had said that for 10 crore people, you had recommended food for about 3 weeks. Would that be right? 1 crore.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 10 million people.
Yes.
So the immediate question is, does the government have enough rice and enough dal to be provided as a free one-time measure to these NGOs and state governments? So do we have that much in the stock? That's the question.
So we have much more than that. In fact, as far as rice is concerned, we had estimated that it will not take even 1 lakh tons of rice. As far as pulses are concerned, I had written earlier also that it is not possible for the government of India to provide pulses under PDS because the volume of pulses which are required to be distributed under PDS, 1 kilogram per family, will not provide the volumes to take up effective and cost-effective transportation of pulses from the producing centers to the districts. So that is rather complex. I do not think that India is ever going to provide pulses to ration card holders everywhere in India. It has been done on a very small scale in some states who have been buying pulses from the open market. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, for example, Kerala, they are buying pulses from the open market and supplying, which is possible. But for government of India to provide milled pulses under PDS is very difficult. But for rice, it's difficult.
My question is, can rice be given?
The transportation of pulses as well as the transportation of wheat and rice requires certain quantity to make it logistically feasible. You see, when wheat and rice are transported from the producing centers to the consuming centers, one rake load of train is loaded, which takes about 2,500 tons. So at the loading center, you should have that much of quantity which can be loaded in a rake. For pulses, because the pulses cannot be consumed in raw form, they have to be milled. So the mills, most of the mills, as far as I know, do not have railway rake points. And they will not have capacity to store 2,500 tons of pulses. So pulses, let us leave out pulses, because pulses, if the government wanted, they could be easily procured. In any case, we had suggested that let the NGOs, etc., buy pulses from the open market. Let the government give them free rice and let them feed. But I must say that Government of India and Niti Aayog did issue an order after our article, and they wrote to all the NGOs registered with them on the Darpan portal, which was started by this government in 2014. So they did write to them. And the Government of India decided that any of these NGOs, corporates, etc., can take wheat at 21 rupees and rice at 22 rupees a kilogram. So these orders were issued by the Niti Aayog.
But will that help the destitute and the migrant laborers who have been dislocated? We saw this very tragic report about a family in Gurugram, where apparently one of the workers had committed suicide after he had desperately sold his phone to get enough money to provide for the family for 1 or 2 days. So if the Government of India has a scheme where state governments have to pay a certain amount, is that an option, or could the government still provide this food gratis to the state governments and from there to distribute it to the NGOs for 3 weeks as you have suggested?
The Government of India is not providing it free to the state governments. That is what we had argued, but somehow it was not accepted. So the state governments could pick up rice at 22 rupees a kilogram and supply it to NGOs free of cost, and then they would have borne the cost. As Kerala is doing, I am given to understand that Kerala government is buying wheat, rice from the government under the open market sale scheme. They are buying this rice from the Food Corporation of India by paying them 22 rupees a kilogram, and they are providing free meals. But you see, for the government organizations to get the meals cooked and distribute is not very easy. It can only be done by community organizations like NGOs, panchayats, voluntary organizations, self-help groups, etc. So their help had to be taken.
But if I could press this a little more, given the fact that today almost all states are looking to the center for some kind of assistance, both financial and otherwise, would it be valid to suggest that the government of India in Delhi, that the central government led by Prime Minister Modi, could actually review the situation and make an offer to each state government that they could provide a certain amount of rice as a relief measure, and that this could be based on the recommendation drawn up by a group of experts such as yourself and others, so that states have some cushion to then divert this food to those districts or those cities and towns where it is most required. Is that possible as a policy intervention?
The government of India has already increased the allocation to all ration card holders from 5 kilogram per person to 10 kilogram per person for a period of 3 months. So this has already been done by the government of India. And as the food minister explained in a TV program, it means a net subsidy, additional subsidy of some 46,000 crores. So that has already been done. But the point is that it does not take care of migrant labor who do not have ration cards. If we wanted them to be fed during the period of lockdown, then some other intervention was required.
So basically, I think this is the real problem area, that today there are a large number of people who are stranded between the places where they were residing as migrant workers and their own homes, whether they are in village India, rural India, or outside the state where they belong. And there are a number of reports that are coming in. So one can only hope that the necessary intervention will be made either by the local municipality or the local district or the state. But let me leave this aside, Mr. Hussain. You have flagged the problem. I just have one last factual information that I'll request you to provide. When you talk about rice, how much rice is the government of India holding now as we speak in April 2020? And how much is it likely to be over the next few months when the crop is harvested in this year?
No, I wrote this in my article yesterday. Let me just open it. So that balance sheet also is there in that article in Wire. But we will, even if the government was to extend this additional allocation for 3 months, from 3 months to 6 months, even then, next year on 1st of April, we will have more rice than the buffer norm. I'll just tell you.
You have written 39.42 million tons, which will be the level on 2021 against the buffer norm of 13.58 million tons.
Yes.
But it's a fairly generous buffer.
Yeah, but this presumes, but there is an assumption, and the assumption is that the government will be able to procure 40 million tons.
Okay. So that is the assumption. Okay, which really brings us to the next point. The IMD, the Indian Met Department, has given us a forecast that the monsoon this year would be normal, which is very, very, I would say, gratifying news in this current period of lockdown. What is going to be the impact on the agricultural sector because of the lockdown and the fact that migrant workers, who are an important aspect of the agricultural season in India, if they are not able to travel, what impact will this have on the harvesting and the rest of the agricultural cycle for this year?
I think the impact has not been too adverse so far. We have seen that harvesting is almost over in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. More than 90% of Rabi crops have been harvested in these states. In Punjab and Haryana and Western UP, the harvesting has just begun, but harvesting in these areas is done mostly through mechanized harvesters, and local labor should be sufficient to ensure that harvesting is achieved without much difficulty. The problem is not really in harvesting. The problem is coming in marketing. Actually, the farmers have suffered a lot during the period of lockdown, especially the farmers of vegetables and fruits, because they could not sell their crop. And in many places, from many places, there are reports that they did not even harvest, unfortunately, and they had to destroy their rabi crop of fruits and vegetables, which is a very sad situation. As far as the Kharif outlook is concerned, I think it is a very positive news that IMD has said that monsoon is going to be normal. I understand that the preparations in southern states are quite good. At least in Karnataka, I can say, because I had a video chat with the Principal Secretary Agriculture, Karnataka. So they are well prepared in terms of seed, in terms of fertilizer, urea is available everywhere in India. So on the whole, if the lockdown is not extended too much, I think the Kharif outlook is very good.
You know, the last area that I thought I would request you to share your thoughts, what you just said. You know, at one level, I would say it's indeed very tragic and perhaps even ironic in the extreme sense of the term that when India has such a serious hunger problem, that due to lack of marketing opportunities and lack of other infrastructure, that many of our farmers are actually destroying their produce, or it is getting destroyed. So is it possible for the government of India to think of a macro intervention where food is used as a resource? Because it is clear from what you have pointed out that the buffer stocks and the quantum of grain, whether it's wheat or rice, is of a much higher order than what the minimum buffer requirement is. So my query really is that can the government of India, in consultation with the state governments, use food as a resource for this particular workforce, the labor force, which today is not going to have assured employment. So they have no revenue stream. So can this food be used hypothetically for, say, an infrastructure project, building roads or building hospitals? If the clampdown and the virus continues, the lack of health infrastructure has been spoken about repeatedly. So is that something that the GOI can think of as a macro policy to use food as a resource for a larger public good?
Earlier, food was given as a part of wages under the employment guarantee scheme, but then it was found that distribution of food as a part of the wages is not a very efficient way of giving wages. So I do not think this option will be considered by the government. In any case, due to the uncertainty of economic outlook, I think the government would like to conserve and prudently use the stock of wheat and rice. See, the major problem has come because of the restrictions on movement. Unfortunately, what happened was that the government of India gave very clear instructions on 27th March, 31st March, that there should be no restriction on movement, etc. But those orders were not really implemented at the district level by district collectors and these SSPs, the police. And the reason was that from the government of India, the communication, I would say, was not very strong, and the press conferences which are taken by the Joint Secretary Health treat COVID-19 only as a health issue, while it is as much as an economic issue and a sociological issue. So if the Cabinet Secretary was taking the press conference, or if the Home Minister was addressing these press conferences, then the administration at the district level would have probably implemented the central orders better. And then perhaps we may not have seen so much of wastage of fresh fruits and vegetables, because in cities, in fact, we have seen for many food items like milk, cheese, etc., several other things, the consumption has gone up. So consumption of fruit and vegetable would have also gone up if the movement from the producing areas to the urban centers was more smooth.
We are all hoping that from the 20th of April, that there would be a certain relaxation in some of these norms and protocols. And hopefully, as you have rightly said, that the distribution of food will also get streamlined and receive the kind of priority it needs at this point in time. Mr. Hussain, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And I'd like to reiterate and really commend you for the kind of public intervention that you have made in recent weeks. I think the article that you and Mr. Ajit Ranade had written is something which is very, very important and draws attention to this very critical aspect of human security. Thank you once again for being part of SAM Conversations. Thank you for being with us. We'll come back again with another episode of SAM Conversations.